Hi, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I am Kelly Pitts, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas. I've been doing this since uh, a while, 18 years. Can you believe it? It's been a lot of fun and I am still enjoying it. Started off as just a hobby on the side of my regular jobs, and now I get to do it full time and love it. So I would appreciate your support, whether you're watching live or on the replay. If you would share it with your crafty friends, that always helps. I appreciate your support in my channels, and that helps me bring you free videos. Excuse me, today I'm going to be sharing one of the 16 cards, or the last one actually, of all I've already done 15 videos of the 16. So this is the last one. You can go watch any of the others on a replay. And I will be offering a PDF tutorial for sale if y'all are interested in getting that for all 16 cards. Hope your Christmas card making is going well. I am excited. I still have a class coming up on our card making experience, whichever way you look at it. I have one coming up on Monday, which is tomorrow already, an intermediate class. And then I've got a couple of beginner classes on the 16th, which is Thursday. I have one at 2 and one at 6, and also have a techniques class that's more for advanced folks here in the Lubbock area, and that is on Sunday the 19th. So if you're interested in any of those, please let me know. You can just email me at kelly@createwithkelly.com. That'd be great. And hope you will let me know when you join here and what your name is and where you're from. Would love to know that information. So thanks for tuning in. And today we're going to make this beautiful card that features a couple of different designer series paper packs. And it's also a belly band. I'll open it up for you. It showcases our embossing, silver embossing. And then I have the snowflakes are from the season of chic, or actually chic dies is what that's called. And then the snowflake, these two papers are from the Snowflake Magic designer series paper, which are in the holiday mini catalog, the September through December catalog. And then this tartan foil plaid is from an online exclusive. So you can find that on my website also. So I'm excited to show you how to make this beautiful card. So if you're interested in making some for your dear loved ones for Christmas. And this could be just a winter birthday if you changed up the sentiment. It doesn't have to necessarily be Christmas. It could certainly be anything, just to thinking of you in the winter. So thanks again for tuning in. And I've got one announcement from Stampin' Up. Let's see if I can show that. We've got a seasonal sale coming up on November 14th through the 16th. So we're going to have up to 20% on ribbons, trims, inks, and paper from the annual catalog. So y'all watch out for that. We also have online exclusives that just came online. So be sure to look for those. You can go to mycreatewithkelly.com and just look that up. Easy peasy. All right, we'll make this beautiful card today. And I guess we will, let me show you the stamp sets and all that I'm using. On the inside, we use Joy to You. I use the Peace and Joy to You and Yours, and I emboss that. You wouldn't have to. You could do just the Pretty Peacock if you wanted, or Lost Lagoon. And then we also have the greeting on the front, this hoping your home is filled with the spirit of the season. That comes from the Merriest Trees set, but you could use any other sentiment that fits on that die. And the die is the hexagonal ones from Nested Essentials dies, 161597. That's where that came from. And then the snowflake that I may put on the inside, we'll just decide once we get going on here if we want to add that little snowflake. But I think it's really pretty with this set, so we may add one of those inside. And that's the season of chic. And I'm not sure if I have all my supplies listed or not. I will certainly add that if they're not there already. Okay, and I took my card away. That was not helpful. Okay, here we go. How many of y'all like the silver? Do y'all like that silver with the Lost Lagoon? I think it's gorgeous. And these two papers, I was not sure. Once I got them, I wasn't sure how I was going to use them together. But I really think they work together very well. Oh, and there's a third pack of paper that I forgot to mention. And that is the holographic trio paper. This is the silver foil from the holographic trio. You can kind of tell with the way the light hits that. Look at that. You get a whole rainbow there. Isn't that fun? Cute, cute. And then just use whatever sequins or embellishments that you want. And it's a cute little fun fold. Slightly a fun fold, not a huge one, but you know, it counts. All right. We've got all of our goodies here, our little bits and pieces. I'll try to get those out of the way, and I'll let you know here what the sizes are. And I will have that posted on my blog. I think it comes out the 20th. I've got several of them scheduled. So it will be out, but if you need it before then, you can jot these measurements down or holler at me about the PDF tutorial. I should have that totally finished today for all 16 cards. So I'm excited. All right, this is 11 inches. So the full 11 inches by 5.5. And then it is scored at 1 1/4, 5.5, and 9 1/4. So you've got the full 5.5 inches and the full width or length of 11 inches, and then 1 1/4, 5.5, 9 1/4. All righty. And we're just going to put this up here. I've found that that's the easiest if you've got a template to follow. Well, just follow that. We're going to fold that. So that one is a mountain fold. Whoops, that's this one. Sorry. Wasn't folding it properly, was I? Okay, there's our valley fold now. And then this is another valley. So that's going to be in half. And you just want to make sure all this lines up properly. And since that fold is at 5.5, it should be just like a regular cardstock. This piece will be 4 1/4 by 5.5. Okay, so we've got this one folded up. This one is a valley too. So you've got two valleys and then a mountain. So your mountain is going to go this way. Let's move that out of the way so you can see this better. Just make sure that's lined up straight, top and bottom, and then give that a good burnish. You can even do it this way. Now, hopefully that should lay pretty flat once we've got all that burnishing done. Okay, I think we are good to go. All right, and with the foil paper, I want to give you a tip. If you use liquid, that's just not going to show. That's just not going to show, Kelly. Okay, I was trying to help, but can't get them both in the photo at once, so we'll just do what we can here. Okay, we're going to use this piece from the designer series. Well, it's not really designer series paper because it's not double-sided, but it is a specialty foil paper called Snowflake Magic. This is one of the ones that are in there. This is the other one that I've done a card on with, that is a shaker card. So this piece, and this piece are the three designs that are in the Snowflake Magic set, and they're all related to Lost Lagoon. This is a little darker than actual Lost Lagoon, but that's the main color. Okay, so when you're using foil paper, you don't want to use your liquid glue. It just flat, it will show, most of the time, it will show your little squiggle marks. Sometimes you're lucky and it doesn't, but usually I would recommend Stampin' Seal for that. And then, or Tartan tape if you don't have Stampin' Seal. But I recommend getting all the different types of adhesive. There are reasons to use each one. So there are different applications. So if you are a regular crafter, you need to have multiple kinds of glue or adhesive. All right. So we're going to use the, oh my goodness. And I went in to get that a moment ago. to make sure I had the latest one. Let's see if I came back with it. Hold on. Dang it. I think I'm going to have to leave and come right back. We're going to put this out and I'll be right back. Because I think I was going to get a refill and I did not. I'll be back. Okay, sorry, that took me a minute. I remember now why I got so distracted, and that is because almost every one of them has a red line, like it's almost out. So no matter which one I picked up, it was almost out. So we'll just show you how to change it. When this one runs out. Hope I didn't lose you there. Let's get back to comments. And please comment and let me know if you're watching and where you're from and all that. Okay, we're going to use our Stampin' Seal. And when you use this, you need to make sure this flat part stays pretty much parallel to your table. You're just barely lifting it up, and then you've got to break it. And I usually do it towards myself. So I break it towards me just in a little snap. Okay. And you don't really have to have that much seal. That's probably overkill, but I'm about to run out anyway. Okay, and this goes on the front, and I decided that I didn't need this to be the full size, go all the way in, because I could get more out of my 12 by 12 if I made it this size. So I just made it 3 inches. As you can see, I could have made it 3.5, but I made it 3 so I could get 4 across. Because this is going to be folded back anyway. It's not really going to show. So there you have it. Save when you can, right? Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Seal on this. You got to break that tape and flick it toward you. Don't go left. Don't go right. Either way. Just toward you. Okay. Then we're going to do our little darker Lost Lagoon foil right in the center there. Then we're going to take our one piece of the tartan plaid. And I would say look and see if there's a difference between them, kind of which one you want on the front. If you like that one, if you like that one. I think I like this one better. That's a little funky the way that cut. So I'm going to use this one on that front fold back flap. And we'll just put that on, even border all the way around. And again, you can go ahead and fold this over and say, do I want the squares on this side? Or do I want the squares kind of on the outside? I think kind of on the outside. Before you stick it down, make that decision. Kind of audition your piece and decide which way you want it to go. And if you get a little bit of something underneath that foil, sometimes you can kind of smooth it out with your bone folder. Like that one. Or like that little corner of the paper there. So that's all there is to that fold. Now we're going to take the inside piece, and this is the smaller. If y'all got my class kit to go, this is the smaller of the 2 pieces. And all we're going to do on this is cut a little fishtail. I'm probably cutting up about between half and 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going, let's see if I can get that closer for you. Going from the corner here to the top of that little slit that I just made right there. Okay. And if you want to measure it, you certainly can. I do not care that much. I don't think it matters. I don't think people will notice if it's a teeny bit off. Because it's a handmade card and they're lucky to get it, right? Yes. Okay, and I think they'll feel lucky to get it. Okay, so that's all I did was kind of make a banner tip just to create some interest there. And we're going to go ahead, if you were going to do ribbon, which I often do on this kind of a fold, I often put ribbon here, but and just a flat piece. But with the addition of the holographic trio, I didn't think it needed the ribbon, so we're not going to do that. We're going to just use our little silicone mat so we don't get glue all over the place. Give that some glue or some Stampin' Seal. And put that, just kind of center that left to right so you kind of have an even border on either side. And get the top straight. Probably if you're using grid paper, that would help. But again, I'm not that concerned because I don't think people really notice that much. All right. Now, do I have a piece for inside? Yes, right here. I forgot that was back to back. Okay, so this inside, we want it to be this way. So this one in particular doesn't matter which way it goes. Like that one, you know, there was it's kind of a personal preference as to whether you wanted that set of squares on the outside or the inside. But this one, this time it doesn't matter. We're on the opposite side. So we're just gonna glue that straight in there. Isn't that pretty, that foil paper? Let me see. It looks like I've got a little bit of something right there somewhere. We'll just try to get it out with our bone folder again. That did fairly well. Okay. All right. We are ready to glue this one. And with the foil, the large piece, it's not as big a deal. But if you want to use liquid glue on it, just either way, you don't want to get glue on the front of the foil. That's the main thing. Let's see. That's going to kind of be, okay. I like it this way better. We're just going to stick to the seal. You could certainly use liquid glue on this one if you want. And if you want to make sure it stays down totally, just go ahead and cover it like that. Okay, we're going to put that in the center here. And I'm just barely kind of hovering it over there till I get it where I think it's straight at the top and about even on the sides. And then put that down. And if you've got a little adhesive eraser, that'll get that kind of stuff off, or sometimes you can just rub it off like I did there. And then I have already die cut the snowflake. Again, this is from the Chic dies. And I don't think I brought those in here. But I put, you can tell here, I didn't peel that off because I've got an adhesive sheet. Maybe you can see. See right there where that edge is? That's just a little square of our adhesive sheets to make sure that's sticky to go on that foil. So you don't necessarily worry about just putting on glue on cardstock. It doesn't show as much as foil, but you're putting this cardstock onto the foil. And sometimes this can be kind of slippery or slick. So you want to just be careful with attaching your snowflake. All right, and I have found a lot of times it's easier to pull away the part you don't want instead of trying to pull up the part you do want, if that makes sense, hopefully. If not, I can try to explain that. And we could leave that solid like that in there if we want, since we're gluing the whole thing. Or you can take the pieces out and have it like that. You can tell here that I got glue on there and it shows a little bit. I have not cleaned that up yet, but that's why I did the adhesive sheet on this one. And I think that little bitty middle there looks kind of like a heart. So I definitely want that part out. What do y'all think about leaving that, the rest of it solid? Do you like that? Or do you want more of the foil showing like this one? I think that looks more like a snowflake, maybe. I'll give y'all a minute before I poke this out if y'all want to give me a comment. If not, I'm poking it out. I don't see anybody objecting, so I will. I'm just going to use my take a pick tool here and poke those little sections out or pull them up, whichever way works. It looks like the backing is staying on and those are coming out, which is fine because we're going to just peel all the backing off in a minute anyway. All right, so all those are going to be gone. Now let's dump these in the trash. If you wanted to do a paper piecing project, you could keep those and put those inside like of a silver one or something, but we're not going to do that today. So I'm going to ignore my hoarding tendencies of keeping every little thing. And there we go. So if you can get your take a pick tool in there and you just peel this entire adhesive sheet off and line that up where you want it. And I don't always center things, but in this case, I think it looks good because you're going right where these little corners are. So I think it, unless you were putting something down here and making that top heavy, I think it's probably better just to line this up. And I want that little heart to show, or what I think of as a heart. Y'all may not think necessarily it looks like a heart, but okay. And I'm just not letting it stick all the way until I get it where I want it. And then put that flush down. Okay. There's that. So all we lack is making our little belly band and doing our inside. And both of those require foil, the silver embossing. So we're going to try it on the air. Hopefully it's not just too loud and make you crazy. But, oh, I do want to do this too. And I did not put adhesive on here and should have. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on this and stick it on the front where we want it. I'll show you. And get our little silver heart out. And you can see here that I did it kind of up like that because the belly band goes on, and I was kind of leaving it close to the center. It doesn't have to be exactly in the center. So we can go ahead and attach this. And if you thought ahead enough, which I did not when I was doing this, I was doing too many different things, I would have used adhesive strip on this too. Whoops, my little doohickey's getting in the way there. Whatever you want to call that. We're going to try a different, well, I'll try to stick a pin in here and see if we can clean that out a bit. Make that work for us. And you can just transfer your liquid glue, your favorite liquid glue, into a little fine tipped holder like this one. And a lot of times that makes it easier to work with, especially on something like this that you want to have really small dots of glue. Okay, and this is just going to go flat, so I'm just kind of putting it on all the little dots on the edges and then put a few inside. You don't really have to have every little bitty one covered solid. I don't think they're going to go wild and crazy with this card. I was hoping not to do that, but I did it nonetheless. Okay. Put a little bit more there. Okay. So I'm just going to say I want this above where the belly band's going to go, and I want it tucked underneath a little bit. So I'm going to do that right there. Not critical at all as to where you put it. You just don't really want it right in the middle because you don't want your belly band to cover it up. And then this I want peeking out from this side. So we're just going to do the same thing there. Adhesive sheets would be better, as you can see. instead of putting all these tiny little glue dots on there, but this works if you don't have an adhesive sheet or don't plan ahead enough to do it. All right. I want that sticking out and kind of toward the bottom. Okay. Now, I think we are just about ready to do our embossing and move right along here. Okay, we'll see what we've got. Get all this out of the way. And if you'll keep your glue every time you cap it, or every time you use it, if you pull off any of that excess little glue sticky stuff before and then close it up, it'll work a lot better for you. Sorry, it's dry here in West Texas. Okay, so I had to have a little sip of water. Okay, we're going to use our Versamark and do our little embossing. We're going to try it. We'll see. I didn't want to hold it in my lap, so I had to get up. Okay, we're going to use our embossing. Let's use our embossing buddy first. I really don't want to get this all on my cabinet. Okay. Let's see where our stamp is. Already mounted over here. And as I said, this is from the Merriest Trees set. I've used it on quite a few of the cards that we've done. And you can tap your ink, your stamp on the pad like that, or take your pad to the stamp, whatever you find works better for you. Okay, so that's the Versamark, which is our watermark ink. So and it makes the powder stick to it. We're going to put that on just our little white piece. I'm just going to take this embossing buddy to keep the oils off from our fingers, etc. See what I can get in the can't get everything in the picture here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and embossing buddy the whole top of that, because we're going to do that next, and that step will be ready. That way we can get this out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to stamp. And I have this tray that Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell this size anymore. They sell some smaller ones, which work just the same. But I keep mine in little Rubbermaid containers, my silver embossing powder. I'm going to go ahead, since I waited so long there, I'm going to re-ink that real quickly. Whoop. Put my lid on my stamp. Discombobulated today. Alrighty, so we're just going to get that it fits really well there in that hexagon. And I have that in white. Okay. So there we have that. And you can hold it with your tweezers. Just make sure, get it in the light where you can see where your Versamark is. So you know that you're not putting your tweezers over part of your greeting. And we'll just do the little powder on there. Hit it from the back. You can hit it one more time if you think maybe it wasn't totally covered right. Kind of go dump it from the top and then dump it from the bottom if you want. Then you can use a little brush. You get a brush in the kit, as well as the embossing buddy that I used and little trays. If y'all are looking for that kit, you can find that on my website, along with everything else. It's a Stampin' Up! Product that I am using today. Okay, we're going to move our tray and move this. Get our little tweezers and watch the magic happen. This was one of the first things that I got excited about with Stampin' Up! So I'm not going to talk. It's hard. It's a little loud, so hopefully it will mute on your phone, but I won't talk. I am letting it heat up. Hopefully you can hear me say that. I'm going to heat it up first and then hit it with the heat tool. You can see that turning from a matte finish to a shining silver finish. Isn't that pretty? And I know I have it upside down, but I just did it on the wrong side. And then when it's all shiny, quit, because you can make it go dull again if you do it too long. Okay, so there we have, hoping your home is filled with the spirit of the season. Isn't that a nice greeting? I like that. Okay, now we'll do our inside. And that is using the Joy to You stamp set. And this has peace and joy to you and yours. We're going to do the same thing with our Versamark. And this is a really big stamp and it needs to be inked up well. So I would say I'm going to move that so that I'm on a flat. See if I can get that where y'all can see that. Shaking the table a little bit. Make sure that's coated really well with that sticky ink called Versamark. Then we're going to just put it at the top in the center. Centered left and right and down, I don't know, maybe ½ inch, maybe a little less from the top, because we're going to have that strip go across the bottom. And I'm using some pressure and leaving it there to make sure I've got it coated really well with the Versamark, because anytime you have a font this thick, it kind of works the same way. If it's really thin or if it's really thick, sometimes the Versamark is a little tricky to get it to stay right where you want it. Okay, we're going to get our little embossing powder back out. We're doing silver, of course, on the inside here. I wouldn't think about using any other color except silver with this paper, unless you had like a Lost Lagoon background and you wanted to do it in white. That would still be pretty. But I was trying to pick up some of the silver. That looks like it had a little hair on my stamp when I embossed it. We may have to do it on the back too. See what I mean about it's just not really sticking perfectly to that end and yours. Okay, we're going to see if we can get that hairy little dude right there. And maybe out of the middle. And I think that's as good as we're going to get. Oh, I have part of my R missing. I think that's going to look funky. Let's see if we can make that fill in. Nope, we cannot. Well, we'll see. Maybe it'll melt that way. I may try to do something crazy here. I think I'm going to dip this brush in there. Put it right on that spot. Since it probably is not going to work anyway, we're going to see what that does. We can always start over on the other side. All of the paper has two sides. Okay. Now I just have to remember to clean that brush, right? Okay. Get all this out of the way again, because you don't want to have your powder open when you start your heat tool. So I'm going to put this on again, let it heat up, and then you can watch the magic happen again. Let's do that where y'all can see the card. See if I can get it close enough there for you to see. Thank you for your likes and comments and shares, everyone. Peace and joy to you and yours. Isn't that gorgeous? See, that filled right in for that R. How about that? I had never tried that before. It didn't work perfectly, but it's going to get us by, I think. Okay. So we have the peace and joy. I'll probably let that cool just a minute while we're putting our little strip on. This is the third pattern of the Snowflake magic paper. And you just need to figure out, do you like it this way better or do you like it this way better? You might hold it inside your card and see what you think works best. I think that kind of needs to be over at the right. Kind of balances that out better if this heavier snowflake is over there, to me. But you totally do it however you want. Every time you cut a piece of paper, it's going to be different. So you'll have to decide each time. We'll just get that on here. And this is 3/4 inches by 4. And then on the white, attaching just the white to the Lost Lagoon cardstock, you can use liquid glue on that if you want, since we're not using the foil. Some people like to use the Stampin' Seal all the time, and some people prefer liquid glue when they can, but I'm telling you, with the foil paper, I would always recommend seal, so you don't have those little squiggle lines showing through. Okay, we've got that kind of curled up a little bit when I heat embossed it, but see, it just flattens right out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, there's that. Oh, I was thinking about stamping that snowflake there. Did I do it? No. So, I guess we're not having one. Okay, we've got this with the belly band. I'll show you how to do that. And then I did a little sequin there. You don't really want to do probably a raised embossing thing on there. I wouldn't. Let's see. I thought I had another medium snowflake, but I may not. Nope. Okay, we may just stick one of these. I think I'll put it right there. Or maybe we don't need it. Or maybe we want it off like that, so we're not covering one of them up. I don't want to cover that one up for sure, but that's so pretty. Or maybe we do it like that. Either way, however you want to do it, we'll just be grand. Okay, we're going to use our Stampin' Dimensionals to pop this up. We'll pop it up onto the Lost Lagoon. This white hexagon we're popping up onto the Lost Lagoon one. Get those backings off. Just try to center that on there. Now we're going to take this, and if you got my kit, I usually score one side of a belly band and not the other. So this one is scored at 4 inches because our card front is 4 1/4. And we're going to wrap it around to the front. Your tendency is, or mine is, most people's tendency is to put the seam on the back. But in our case, we're just going to put it on the front. And I'm going to fold this over and see how I'm lining that up with that edge of the other piece. Okay. And then I'm just kind of pushing a little bit. I'm going to see if I can get this on and off easily enough. Okay, it comes off, and I don't think it's going to fall off by itself. So that's what we want. So now I will go ahead and attach this to that. You can do that with liquid glue, so you have a little wiggle room, or you could do it with a seal, either way. Just make sure you're only putting it where it's overlapped there. Okay, and you could actually do that with it on the card. Sometimes that's probably better, but I sometimes am messy with my glue, so thought I'd do it this way. Okay, and then we're going to attach this to the front of that, and that can just be flat with glue also, and you can run it down here. You know, you're not going all the way to the ends. Pretty close, but not all the way. So just get that solid there, and this just about lines up right with the edge of the hexagon die, so it's about the same size. Give that a minute. Let that dry. Then we're going to be able to slip that on like that. And I probably made it a tiny bit snug. Whoops, no, I just had it at an angle. So if you put it on straight, you're probably good. Okay, then we're just gonna, on a embellishment like this, if it's this small, I would take the embellishment to the glue dot. You can see the glue dot there. Sometimes it's on this part, sometimes it's on this part, just depends. But just take the embellishment to the dot and then kind of twist it as you pull it off, trying to get it where you can see. And now the dot is on here, and it didn't do a very good job of it. I twisted too hard, I guess. So we'll do that, press it on, twist it straight off, and then we're going to add it to the front right there. Cute. Then we're going to add a little bit of a rhinestone basic jewel that has been around forever and ever. Okay, and we'll just use our take a pick tool, which I have a big old wad of putty, but it still works just fine. Stick one there, and we could stick a kind of a big one there in the heart if we want, just to kind of make that stand out. Maybe a smaller one here on that one, so that now we have 3 on the front, which is a nice pleasing pattern to your eye. And I would not do it on the inside, because if you put one here, it's going to mar the surface of this one when it's closed, especially when it's mailed, if that makes sense. Okay, so there is your beautiful card. Let's open one. We'll open this. No, we can only get one in. Oh, well. Oh, we can get this one closed, maybe beside it. We'll do that. Let's see if we can do that. Kind of have that one like that, for you to get a good shot of it, in case you want to make one at home. Anybody have any questions so far? I think we are kind of wrapping up. Sorry I was so slouchy today. This was the closest I had to Lost Lagoon color, so I didn't think I was going to be getting up and parading around in front of you. See my long, comfy t-shirt. But I'm so glad you joined, and hope you enjoyed this card, and you may try it on your own. So if you need any products, I'm happy to help you, and hope you will let me know if you're interested in attending a class in the Lubbock area anytime soon. I have all kinds of card making experiences that are lots of fun. So thanks again for tuning in, and please share with your crafty friends. And if you need any products, oh my goodness, I did not even get my hostess code back up after I showed y'all that little special deal. Let's get back that up so you have it, just in case you need some products today. There you have the host code at the bottom, and that's for orders under 150. And if you order over 150, then you get your own hostess credit. Plus, you should be thinking about being a demonstrator yourself if you're ordering that amount. I would love to have you on my team. Thanks again for tuning in. Kelly Pitts. You can subscribe to my blog at createwithkelly.com. And my YouTube channel is Create with Kelly Pitts. And I have Facebook, page of Create with Kelly, and then I have a group where you can post. If y'all did a version of this card and you would like to share it with our group, we would love to have you join the Create with Kelly crew. And that way you can post your creations that you do with Stampin' Up! Products. So always love to hear those. Thanks a lot again for tuning in. Y'all have a great week. Fun times ahead. Bye-bye.